y'all.
Hi, I'm R.H. Snow, author of the Prometheus Award-nominated sci-fi western saga Watcher of the Damned and its associated tabletop role-playing game, System and Star, which is now available to you at BigGeekEmporiums.com. The whole series and the games. And I'm here today to talk to you about the OGL, otherwise known as the Open Gaming License. But more importantly, I'm here to talk to you about gaming itself and the heart of why it's been so important to me and so important to many people throughout the decades. And let's talk about decades, because I want to take you on a trip with me. Now, I don't claim to be an expert in D&D. I don't claim to know that much about rules. I don't know that much about adding the bonuses or anything else. What I do know is how much I love the game. So let's go on a journey, a time trip. Yay! We're going back to 1978. That's right, 1978, when the first time I really ever encountered Dungeons and Dragons, and I was in high school, and it was a wonderful time. Lots of people were getting really super high, and they were wearing torn up blue jeans and rat pink t-shirts, and they were going out and dancing every weekend and being wild and free, and that wasn't me. I was voted most likely to be sacrificed as a virgin by my graduating class of 1980. And I wasn't really into that much of what we call the cool culture at the time. I was actually a nerd girl. I learned how to play the Star Wars theme song on the piano by ear so I could play it. I also had friends that would have the original schematics for the Star Trek Enterprise, and we would sit around and talk about that. But I didn't really fit in with cool culture at the time. I was a nerd. And so when D&D presented itself on my horizon in the form of a boyfriend with the original 3 books from Gary Gygax's TSR original series, including the Monster Manual, the Fiend Folio, and others, I was absolutely entranced. I started playing every weekend. I played all the way through our relationship. I played through the end of my high school career, all the way through my college career, all the way through to when I got married, through my daughter's birth, and all the way until the end of that relationship when it ended in divorce in 1991. And when that happened, I stopped playing because I couldn't do it. I didn't have the books, first of all. I lost them. They didn't have custody. And all of our friends played together, and I was like, I can't do this. I just can't. And so I stopped playing, but I never stopped loving the game. I never stopped enjoying it. Let's fast forward now as we go forward into the future. Here we are, 2018. I write a series called Watcher of the Damned. And while I'm writing this, I keep on thinking about the great series that I've read by Ron E. Howard, by Edgar Rice Burroughs, Jules Verne, Jack Vance, Rogers Ladney. The names just go on and on. I have loved so many great writers, but those are the first ones that come to mind. And of course, J.R.R. Tolkien. And I remembered how I loved playing the adventures, and I would write my scenes as if it's part of an adventure, except the adventure is all in my head. It's all my property, my characters, my world. And I was like, this would make a great role-playing game. So we made it. Yay. Now here's where the part comes in. I am like a blast from the past. I literally step out of a time capsule of 1990, the last time that I really get to play. And I suddenly enter back into the gaming world again. I'm like, this was great. I'd love to share this experience and this adventure with other people. And it would just be fun to kind of put a little tabletop adventure together. Oh my gosh, how things have changed. During COVID, I started playing online, and I just absolutely loved it. It was really hard for me because I have a job as a storm spotter that I can't just take off and not do it. I have to answer when things happen. As a first responder, I have to always be there. And so I really didn't get to play as much as I liked, but thanks to Chester Busby and some others, I had a chance to really enjoy playing again. And it was such a fantastic experience. I was like, yeah, we're going to do it. We're going to make one for my book. Enter the social justice movement. And I consider myself actually to be a social justice warrior, to be honest. This is the old school ones, the ones that believe in truth, justice, and the American way with liberty and justice for all. And I was always very adamant that everybody deserves basic human rights of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. These people have nothing to do with that. This is about fascism. They want to tell everyone how to do everything. They want to tell everyone how they're supposed to play the game. They want every table to be under the management of a handler. And the way they have done this is through taking over the corporations that run D&D. Now, we have a distinct advantage here at Watcher the Damned. I have fantastic people working with me. I have a gentleman named Snowman on the Discord. He's running my field testing and beta testing for me and doing a completely independent fan-based group. And it's a closed game. It's done for me so I can see how they like the content and they just explore worlds and go out there and get it. I also have Jonathan Harden of Sojourners Awake, and he has created my gaming mechanics because once again, I don't claim to be an expert. I just love playing role-playing games. If you've ever played a 101 level druid that was a halfling, then you'll know how much you love it. Yeah, I did. I drew pictures. I did all that stuff. And so when I made this game, I asked for help. And Jonathan did a fantastic job. And one of the best things he did for me is he said, I know you love your little, look at my dice bag. See it? Isn't it cute? Look at this. I've got dice in here. It's this one. This here, right here. See it? See it? See it? That is a 6-sided dice. Watcher the Damned games are 3d6. That means that they're always played with just a 6-sided dice. There is no gatekeeping for you have to buy a special dice. There's nothing like that. You just have to love the world and want to play it. And we have our modules set up to where there is nothing that has to be covered by the OGL. This is my content, my creation of my game developer, and he has brought us up a wonderful, unique system where we can use a 6-sided dice and play the entire thing. There are no spells because in Watcher of the Damned, the only magic is technology. And so we have our own system for how we deal with technology. So we do not have to worry about whether or not somebody's casting a fire spell or anything else. I feel so blessed right now. Guys, this is traumatic for anybody that loves D&D. I talked to one of my friends today. They said they've lost interest in actual D&D. Not in playing role-playing games. They love playing role-playing games. So they will continue to play role-playing games. But D&D is my first love. It's where I learned this joy of role-playing, of rolling a dice and finding out if you live or die, and having a GM tell you a story, and you're a part of that story. This cannot be replicated in a game somewhere online. You can't do that. It has to have a group of adventurers in a party looking at each other and having that DM look at you and go, you know what, I'm going to put something a little special for you in there. And rule 0 applies, guys, because your table should be run your way. And we're never going to forget it at Watcher of the Damned. You're not here to play my characters. The characters are there. In Purgatory Papers, I have a complete set of NPCs. They're actually from the book. If you want to pick them up, you can go, hey, you know what? I'm going to create a system where they have these stats, and we're going to be able to work them into my games. But you know what? This is about you exploring a world. You can do what you want, and at your table, it's going to be run your way. And I'm not going to try to micromanage you about it or tell you can only play a certain way. We try to put our modules out there to where it fits in the world. It works canon. But this world is created for you. I didn't make it so I could tell you how to do it or so I could play my book. I did it because I wanted you to be able to explore this fantastic world of Watcher the Damned. And I encourage you to come along with us. But I also want to lift up in prayer all of our friends out there who are struggling right now with the open gaming license situation. There are so many great creators and creations and storylines and things that have taken place over the last 4 decades, and I mean 4 decades of players loving role-playing games, who are now in jeopardy of losing their content, of losing everything they worked so hard for because corporations have decided they're going to take over the world. So this is for you guys. Get wrecked. Watcher the Damned. It's mine. It's ours. It's anybody who ever loved role-playing games and wants to play and just have a great time with an unusual world. And if you want to check it out, you certainly can. But more importantly, I encourage you to keep playing. Write what you play. Play what you love, and game on. This is R.H. Snow from the Boudoir of Audaciousness and the Double White of Doom saying I love you, and I'll see you next week. Until then, bye-bye.